Hey guys, welcome to Pommyinoz. It's Pommy Ponders. We ponder the Adelaide game, and I suppose, where do we go from here? If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. It means the world to me. We're smudging on to 500, which is really good, really positive. Something to smile about for me personally, and I appreciate all the love, support, all the messages you've sent, particularly when we lose, because we know that I do get a tad emotional about it, and I really appreciate you all reaching out to me. It means the world to me. Got a great community here. Where do I start? Like sentiment doesn't exist in Pommy's world. It really doesn't. Let me start with that. And coming off the back of a 16-point loss that has knocked us out of finals, and seeing the positivity makes me feel a little bit sick. It really does. I was speaking last night to a good mate of mine. He's a huge Everton fan, one of the biggest Everton fans, huge soccer fan, good mate of mine in the UK, Big Tim. Shout out to you, mate. And I was showing him the reaction to us being knocked out of finals. Now, he's a massive Hull KR fan like me in the rugby league, and we made a grand final in recent times. And we made the grand final of the Challenge Cup, which is the biggest cup competition in our version of NRL, really. And it was the first time we'd made it. We were both born in 1985. That was the last year we'd played in the Challenge Cup final. And we were huge in the 80s, Hull KR, and everyone in the north of England supports them pretty much, or Hull FC, the two big clubs. And yeah, I stayed up late. He was watching it in the Pommyland. We watched it on Skype together, and we lost 50-0. And I can't tell you, it was the weirdest moment of my life in sport, because you were so excited, so proud that a club that has struggled in recent times had finally got back to the top of the mountain, only to be one of the first teams to stay goalless in the game, scoreless, and also get absolutely mauled. And we were chatting last night about heartbreak and stuff, and I was showing him some of the comments on us losing and carrying Bryce Gibbs off, and he was like, where was this mentality when we used to get the train to Headingley in the 90s and watch Australia maul us at the cricket with false hope when we were garbage? And he was right. It's laughable. This whole week's build-up has been about Bryce Gibbs and very little about Matty Cruiser. We had the token cruise at 8 minutes as they're kicking a goal. What's going on? And it's hard to rationale it. It really is, because speaking to Tim, he was the same as me. He's never seen fans get excited about an opposition player regardless of if they've played for us or not. And they have to be like club legends to get any love and support when they play the opposition. And it boggles my head, because that game, it was about something. It felt like I was watching a testimonial game. In the UK, we don't do this soppy bollocks of giving you a token game. We don't do it. It doesn't happen, because our league is a professional league, and it actually fucking means something to people. Maybe the clubs in the UK get it. It's a little bit more than sport to some people. This is their escape. Their escape from shit. So we don't give token fucking games out. But, we have a testimonials where usually, it's freaking start of the year, end of the season, and you'd have, a Bryce Gibbs 22 versus a Cruiser 22. We'd all go down, and it's a bit of a song and dance, people have a bit of a laugh. It felt like it was a parade for Bryce Gibbs. Even just watching the game, the fact the mug had so many touches. The guy's garbage, man. He's not a good footballer anymore. And he looked world class. And we let him. And it was finals on the line, and it's all right people saying, oh, the doggies won, so we were him out. They didn't know that when they were playing, though. And you don't know what pressure does. Carlton win that game by +40. puts the ball right back in the doggy's court. It says, come on, boys, can you do it? Can you step up? Doggies just had to turn up based on how Carlton played. And it's the desire I question. I put so much effort into these analytics corners, these videos of doing research, watching game after game off the opposition. And the way we set up for some teams just boggles the head, because we set up the same all the time. It's like a feeding, weeding out process that we play the first half with to see where they're at so we can counter adjust. And watching Adelaide play, they're going to move the ball quickly. They're going to attack your corridor. Now, when you watch the GWS game and the Collingwood game, we defend our corridor like Ethiopia defended against the Germans in World War II. Took them 22 minutes to occupy Ethiopia. What's going on? Like, how is that not addressed in the coaching? Like, am I the only person who supports Carlton or you know, who's seen Adelaide play this year? It was so lax. Like, I watched that game and Adelaide were playing for finals and we were playing for Gibbs. It's a complete aberration. Finals on the line, and I'm sick of it. Because we've never been in that position, and we've been in it 3 times in the last 4 weeks. Finals on the line. And I've never seen teams get 2 chances at fixing a problem. We've had 3. And we've progressively got worse. The Collingwood one I can take. The GWS one, I could maybe swallow it after a couple of weeks. But Adelaide Crows, man. Adelaide. They're not that good. They're not that good, and I don't care what anyone says, they're not that good. Look at their numbers, it's woeful. They just wanted it more. A side, 18th, wanted it more than a side that potentially could play finals. Haven't played finals for like 7 years. The hunger must be there. This club, man, is the lineage of the AFL. I've just watched Terry's review, and it's going to be pretty samey because me and him just talk all the time. But he's not a legend of the club, man. Pull your head in. He's not a legend of the club. He just happened to get paid and played a couple of 100 games for us. Cooter's a legend. Sauce. Nichols. They're legends. The lack of response in the first half to them moving the ball on quickly, hitting corridors, looking to running numbers, attacking droves, defending droves, and our game plan of slow, methodical ball movement, allowing them to set from transition, was literally how Adelaide play all 17 games they've played this year. That's how they play. That is how they will play next week as well. And it took us till the 3rd quarter to work that out. This is elite level sport, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't, your Sunday kickabout with the boys, man. This ain't in the back garden with your daughter kicking a footy. This is professional sport where people get paid good money. And finals are on the line. Like, for some of these players, this could have been their only opportunity to play finals, because some of them are simply ain't not good enough. And some of them need to look themselves in the mirror. Jogging back to your spot. Lockie O'Brien has waited all year for a game. And the pressure he put on Brodie Smith on that loose ball from the spoil from Liam Jones is one of the most abhorrent things I've seen in sport. This Guernsey means so much to me. So much. That monogram, it represents hope. It represents the first time I felt like I belonged to something outside of my own green grass of home. Somewhere that I feel safe, I feel accepted. Feels like I'm going to war. And in the UK, being a small island, that is kind of a big... That's why soccer's so passionate to us. It's kind of inbred into us. It's like going to war. We're a very warmongering race of people. It's like our history is steeped in battles. And it's like going to war. It's like being part of your Saxon tribe and you're defending against the Vikings. It's how it feels. Like, I can't tell you, I get fired up, I get pumped up, we're coming against all odds, you know, I have them Churchill words in my head, you know, we'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them in the shores. And then I see that damn squib presented. 58 intercept possessions Adelaide had. From some of the shittest inside 50s I've ever seen. And that is something that has plagued the club for 3 years. The third and fourth quarter, they move Casbolt deeper up the ground, isolates McKay, and he kills it because the guy's a beast. Isolate him, get him on the goal square, get him one out, get him fighting. And that worries me because these are basic tactical adjustments that people do at country football. And it takes us so long, and I question this desire. I do question it. And it's alright saying, Pom, stay on the train. The fucking train's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. Like, I ain't sitting here and saying next year will be better because I don't know. We've been saying next year since I've got here in 2011, man. Every year it's the same. I want to read you this quote before we get stuck into the players, and I'm not going to get stuck too hard into them. I probably will do because I'll get emotional when we just record this in one take, because that's what this is all about. It's been real. It's been real because I think that's what this club lacks, being fucking real sometimes. But this was Alex Ferguson and Roy Keane. Now, for those who don't know anything, Roy Keane was the club captain of Manchester United, and he personified it. Didn't support them as a club. Irish born, Celtic fan like most Irish Catholics are. Came to Man United after having a great young career at Nottingham Forest, playing for one of the best managers in the world at the time, Brian Clough. Moved to United and left under a cloud because United started to struggle and he questioned the players and the club in its direction and was promptly sacked and sold. And this is what Ferguson wrote about him after he retired. He would pound over every blade of grass, competing as if he would rather die of exhaustion than lose a game of football. He inspired those around him, and I felt like it was an honour to be even associated with this player. Right? Now put that in perspective. That's huge accolades. And would you say that about any of our players at the moment who are over 22? Probably not. And if you did, you'd probably be flat broke out of your mind. This is how he responded to that quote. Stuff like this insults me. What am I supposed to do? Give up? Not cover every blade of grass? Not do the best for my teammates? I actually get offended when people give me quotes like this about me trying, as if I'm supposed to be honoured. He's spot on. Trying isn't a fucking reward unless you're 5. Like, I'm hearing this stuff from the fans. We're getting better, right? Now, they're getting older. Of course they're going to get slightly better. Like David, the apple of my eye, one of my kids. Let's take him as an example. 5 years ago, I had to get up 3 times a night and feed him hot milk. Then it went down to 2, then it went down to 1. Then he started crawling, then he started sleeping through the night, then he started walking, then he got toilet trained. He's now starting school. That's just natural progression. He's got better. I'm not getting excited that he's starting school from being in a nappy, because that's just normal. It's part of life. We get better. Do you know what I mean? That is a non-negotiable. That's called development. Development happens as we get older. It should happen. Like, whether you work at McDonald's or whether you work at Coles or whether you're a lawyer, I imagine that year 1 to year 2, there's development because you've done the same things over and over again and you've got better. That's just development. That's having been compos mentis. That happens. Even animals get better. So do you know what I mean? That's a non-negotiable to me. That's non-negotiable. Efforts are non-negotiable. Pride in this football club is non-negotiable to me. Because it's a fucking great club, man. Like, I'm privileged. I support Rangers. I support freaking Carlton. I feel privileged that I support teams that are the fabric of that organisation. Had great walk through the club. Has given joy to thousands upon thousands of people. Has represented and stood for something. And to hear David Teague say, oh, we let the fans down, but he says it with like a nonchalant way. You've done more than let the club down. You've done more than let the fans down. That performance there was a big fuck you. A big fuck you to everything holy about this club. Because this club historically doesn't stand for being nice. It stands for winning. It stands for you're in our way, we get rid of you. And that is how successful clubs are. That is how sport has to be. Because playing professional sport is an honour. It's an honour. It's a privilege. It's a privilege that few get to ascertain. And you know what? When it's taken away from you, when you have to look yourself in the mirror and say you're not good enough, it fucking hurts. And you know what? I've never filled the void. Ever filled the void. Nothing has. And that sounds horrible. Getting married to a beautiful woman, beautiful family I've got here, beautiful life. It's never replaced the void. Because I'll be honest, I'd give it up in a heartbeat to have my chance again. To not take it for granted. To not think it was cool. To not use it to chat girls up. To smash the beers. To be a boy. To be the lad. Take it back. I'd give it up tomorrow to get another shot. Because it was a lifetime of endeavour to get there. And it was over so quickly. And I see this performance from players like Cunningham stepping up in the fourth for 2 fucking minutes. Finals on the line. X Factor player. Everywhere I go I hear Cunners is X Factor. X Factor? Fuck off. Maybe he can sing on karaoke and he might be on the X Factor. That's not Carlton, man. It's not Carlton. 1 quarter here and there is not what this club is about. And if that's where we've got to as a club, we're in a bigger fucking mess than I think we are. And I think we're in a huge hole. Little quarters here and there. Yeah, look at this little passage you play. Cripper thinking he's Kobe Bryant, flicking it through the back, running 40 metres and not bouncing it and kicking the snag of the year. It's a great goal. Yeah. Great celebration and all. 4 goals down, mate. Pick the ball up and run back. Saw Chad Wingard do the same 4 goals down. He ran. Good little run as well. Ran. He gets the ball and runs back to the centre square because he believes he can win it. There's just so much wrong. Like, these entries inside 50 are honestly criminal. They're bordering on criminal, man. Like, people are saying to me, Pom, who would you give 3 votes to? You know who I'd give 3 votes to? Mitch McGovern. Mitch McGovern gets 3 votes. 3 votes all day long. Mitch McGovern. And you might say to me, why, he was shit. Yeah, you're right. But you know what? I admire the endeavour of someone that can turn up to work every week and be abject, be pathetic, be fucking useless, and still command a wage. I got a PM the other day, and the guy will remain nameless, and he said, oh, he deserves a bit of respect because he turned up unfit and he's got fit. It's his fucking job. It's his job to be fit and healthy. He's an elite athlete. You know what I mean? I didn't get 700k for dropping 30 plus kgs. How's he do it? It's his job. Of course he's meant to be fit. I'd expect all 40 odd blokes to be fit. Because if you're not, why are you commanding that wage? Like, whoever his agent is should be freaking in charge of England leaving Europe. Because his negotiation skills are second to none, man. Don't know what happened that day when we signed him on that contract. Did Sauce not turn up to work and ring and say, get a phone call and thought they were on about Jeremy McGovern, and then was genuinely shocked when Mitch turned up to training. Was like, who's this mug? I thought we were getting Jeremy, and they were like, oh no, it's his brother Mitch. And I'm sure Sauce would have been like, do you have a brother? Was he? Like, Gibbons is on like probably a quarter on what he's on. Showed some intent, showed some passion, drove with the ball, ran with the ball, looked to make things happen, man. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I want at this club. Waitering, Walsh, giving a shit, caring, man. The biggest care I saw from probably 50% of the fan base and our players was, can they get a good fucking picture of carrying Bryce Gibbs off when we've lost? To that shit, man. The Crows aren't good. You want to play top 8 football, you batter 18th. Because that's what happened to us when we were 18th. The top 8 came in and they freaking took what was theirs. It's just, for me, the lack of response. I'm sick of hearing them reactive. Top 8 sides don't react. Top 8 sides implement. Got an issue with this club, man. A big issue, because we accept mediocrity. And it's everywhere you look. Like, I'm glad Terry's on the same page that we drive this culture, man. Fans, we drive it. Pre-season, all we heard about was fucking pin badges, man. I'd love to see Mark Murphy show as much intent for the ball as some of them did looking for a pin badge, so they could proudly say they were a member for 20 years. I'm sick of hearing that as well. Have some respect for yourself. Oh, I've been a member for 50 years. Well done, you've supported your club for an infinite period of time. Well done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're meant to do. You pick a team and you stick to it. So every year you grow older, you should support that team a year. It's not something to be proud of. That is just having basic human decency of backing something and supporting it. Criticising the club doesn't mean you're not a fan. Criticising the club means you care. Full stop. I had to watch Blue Abroad's fan cams the other day, yesterday, and to see Chris Beach cry, a full-grown man cry over this club, crying, broken, hurt. To see some of you criticise him, how fucking dare you? I wish some of you were as good a bloke as him. Because that cares, man. And that cuts me to the core. That's what being a fan is about. It's what it is about. It's wearing your heart on your sleeve. And it's what this club stands for. It's what it deserves. Caring, giving a shit, getting in once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. Doesn't stand for freaking let's have a hug. Have a beer with Bryce Gibbs at the end of the game. Don't carry him off my fucking field when you've cost my club finals. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Good career from Gibbs. Yeah, well done. He gave me a lot of joy. He was my son's favourite player. He still goes to fucking bed with him at night. But it wasn't the time nor the place. Seeing my son heartbroken about that game hurts. Seeing me heartbroken about my game hurts. Hearing my father-in-law saying he just wants to see Carlton freaking win a flag one more time before he dies hurts, because I fucking don't think it's going to happen, man. See some of the highs this club has had and not be part of it fucking cuts me. And it should cut them players, because they've got the talent. There is no doubt about that. They have got the talent. Do they have the will and intent? The positive signs for me are the young blokes step up time and time again. Walsh and Waitering. We've got a core of young players that give a fuck. They show it. They care. They're mixed up with some older blokes that care. Head Colonel cares. Gives a shit. See it in his face. Then there's just people around there that jogging around for paychecks. I mean, evidently now you're a Carlton legend if you fucking turn up to training 20 kgs overweight and you put on a bit of fucking muscle when you lose it. Alright, I mean, it's your fucking job, but well done, you get legend status. I mean, it's a joke, man. Come on, I can't even make a joke about it anymore because it's beyond a joke. That is finals, they're done and gone. And we're going to talk the same nonsense now, aren't we? We'll have a big trade period. Papley this morning's already come out and said he's staying. So it'll be over to the next one. There'll be another mug that we'll pin our hopes on. You know it's bad when Charlie Curnow doesn't cheer me up anymore because I don't know how he fixes shit. I mean, he's good, but he ain't that good. And I just worry about this club because this club deserves more. It deserves more, and I'm not going to start jumping on and say sack Teague, sack all the players. I'm not about that because I genuinely don't know if it helps. I think like it's the whole case. You find one apple rotten, is the tree rotten, is the fucking bag fucked? Are all the apples fucked? As Farmer Giles done us? I just don't know anymore because for me the preparation of games is the woeful thing. It's the not knowing how teams play, and it's basic. If a Pom can tell you how they play, I would hope someone that's been paid an exorbitant amount of money to come up with a game strategy would be able to tell you the same. And I genuinely don't see it because I've watched every game, every start, and we set up the same. It's literally, come on, see what you're about, and we'll react to it. And you can't win football games like that. Against good clubs you won't. I mean, against shit clubs you can't either, evidently, but it's just an aberration. I mean, so many fundamentals wrong. Our positioning at stoppages, our entries inside 50, our running, our lead patterns, the movement ahead of the ball is garbage. Like Adelaide beat us in the first quarter purely because they had movement in front of the ball. Like we have blokes jogging backwards. Like Lockie O'Brien, have a word with yourself, buddy. Have a word. It's a privilege. I can find you kids who came on the show last night on Blue Abroad that would kill for that opportunity to play blue. Just once. And you're jogging, mate. I've got your number on my back and I wear it with pride because I hope you will reflect my pride in that beloved Guernsey. You fucking jog, bro. Come on, have some respect for yourself, lots. You're better than that, mate. For me, where do we go from here? I think this postseason, the players need to galvanise, definitely. They need to galvanise. This is an opportunity lost and it should be fucking hurting them. And all I'm hearing from the club is even Tig's post-game. We're getting better and fucking next year. And how many times does the mug say development, consistency? And what are these words? Because the only thing we're consistent about is conceding freaking goals, man. It's a pattern. Like, even just play 18 men behind the ball to start the game and just freaking contain and see what it's about. Like, the two sides of Carlton, we've got this fast, quick, play-on, expansive game plan. And then we've just got this slow, arduous... Like, that's how that game was lost. It was slow. We just let them set. We didn't have any counter-punch. Like, I don't know if there was a memo sent to the players, but let's try and get fucking Gibbs 20 touches at half-time. That was something, because that guy did what he wanted, man. Then to see fans in blue on the camera footage stand up and cheer when he takes a mark and he kicks a goal that would potentially just put the game away. Have some respect for the club. I mean, I can't keep getting angry about it because I'm going to give myself an aneurysm, but fuck, man, is this where we are? Like Terry said it himself, these wonderful campaigns we've got, Carlton Respects and Carlton Pride and stuff, that doesn't exist without the club, and the club has to be successful and relevant for them to have meanings. To push the message, and they're beautiful messages, the messages that I get behind, because it's how I live my life as a social human being that cares and loves everyone. But this is sport. I separate that from sport. This is their job. That was a shit show. That was a shit show. I can't even give you anything positive. Because even McKay's goals, it's just good football. It's just basics. Isolate your big man one-on-one. In a game, in a contest that he outnumbers the player, and he'll win. Simple. For me, moving forward, we have to look for... It's not inside help. Setterfield kills that job. You've got Walsh that will probably shift and rotate back into that job. We need outsiders. I was watching Lockie Hunter and he took a huge bump and he just gives his shit. His entries are good. He's got a bit of zip and endeavour. For me, we've got to look at players like that. If that's Zachy Williams and Hunter on the outside, so be it. If we can get Jack Graham on the cheap, there's your insider who can kick snags. And it's topping up and getting some good ball users. But without a game plan from the start, you could get Gary Ablett Jr. and fricking Tony Lockett in that side at the peak age. And Lockett would be fucked with them entries, man. Like, it has to be sharpened up. Like, there needs to be some serious skill coming into this team who are elite by foot. And we have to get these tactics right, because to me, we've got a game plan going forward, but our defensive structure is woeful. Our transition from attack to defence is garbage. Is absolutely garbage. 3 games now out of 4, we've just been destroyed in the corridor. And it's been too late since we've made the adjustment. And the writing was on the wall against the Geelong game. Geelong. It's a traditional place you go through the corridor there. And they found it. They found in that 4th, they went hell for leather. You move it quickly through the corridor, there is a weakness there. There is a glaring weakness. And the more it happens, the more teams cotton onto it. And when you play your Richmonds and your Eagles at this time of the season, they're going to have a field day on that. They're going to feast it. And that is a worry, because we've got to be looking at finals as a football club. We have to. Is this game plan going to win finals? No, it's not, because people know it's last ditch. It's last ditch. 3 chances we've had of finals and 3 times we've come up wanting. And it's got progressively worse, hasn't it? Let's be honest, the teams we've lost to, Adelaide, didn't hear anyone give Adelaide a chance 3 weeks ago. For me, the player ratings, if you gave it, if I had to give you player ratings, I probably couldn't. I mean, like for me, Walsh and Setterfield, TDK, they'd probably get like a 10. Simmer would get a 9, and then the rest, Kerno Gibbons probably would be in the 7s, McKay would probably be in the 8s, and then the rest would probably get a big fat 5 and down. Like, it just hurts, man. And I feel sorry for players like Wheater and Walsh. Setterfield, guys who have really improved this year and have improved hard and care. Because imagine having to come off the ground and look some of them blokes in the eye. And now we look forward to the Lions game, and let's hope we finish the year strong, because traditionally we don't. And I hope they don't put the cue in the rack. I hope they go hard against Brisbane, and let's create a seed of doubt in Brisbane's mind. That would be my mindset. But for me, we've got a big trade season, huge trade season. Fuck off your Papleys, fuck off your Kellys. Get these users in. Get 5 or 6 core talented players. Your Zachy Williamses, your Hunters, your Grahams. Get these grinders. Get these grinders in. Use it. Because I don't agree with Teague. We're not far off. I think that's a long way off. Because it's something that hasn't been rectified all year. It's becoming habit. And habits are hard to break. Ask anyone with a habit how hard a habit is to break. How hard it is to change your mindset. It doesn't change overnight. Players aren't going to change that. It's going to be hard work, endeavour and repetition. And for me, these goals we concede in clusters, the way we adjust and the tactical nous and the team selections, like Doc playing when he had a calf, I mean, that sends the wrong message to me. There was a lot of messages sent at the start of the week, and that's what I'll end on. That worry the shit out of me as a fan, as a huge fan. And one thing that worried me was Cruiser got less limelight than Gibbs, a guy that left, and who cares what reason he left. It's all that matters. He left when we needed him. 2, very little finals talk, very little building up of the game. It was like a big farewell. That worried me. And 3, Doc playing sends a message to me that finals was never a possibility for the club. Because why would you risk him knowing that you would need a player of that calibre should you make finals? Against the weakest opposition we've got left, you couldn't have played someone else? Couldn't have done? We talk about selection integrity, and Teague is on about players stepping up. Okay, Cottrell didn't have a great game. And Teague's words, I need players that take their moment and they'll be rewarded. Cottrell took his moment. Probably deserves a game for me. Because I reckon he would have been fired up for this one. And I see some of the players that came in his wake. Wasn't impressed. Wasn't really impressed at all. But we live blue, we die blue, don't we? I'm not giving up on the club, but I believe we'd win this by 40, and I don't like being wrong. I don't like being wrong. I don't like looking like a mug. Fucking hurts, man. Fucking hurts. Let me know your take on the game. I'd love to hear it. Enjoy retirement, Matty Cruiser. You've been a great servant of the club. I'll finish on that note. You gave a lot of joy to a lot of people, Matty, and I think you deserve to be heralded a little bit more, buddy. Never question your intent, never question your endeavour. If anyone personifies being a blue and dust themselves off and try again, you, my friend, are it. Best of luck. Enjoy retirement and stay safe. And from a Pom to an Aussie, I love you, brother. Love you. You were a blue. As always, guys, if I don't see you through the week, see you through the window. Love you all.